All right, and welcome back to A Dash of Sports. I'm your host, Dash. Today we'll be going over the Week 5 Roundup, looking at Week 6 ahead. Uh, Lots to talk about, but before we get into that, I want you to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, hit that notification so you know when the new videos for college football come out. We had some great games. Upset weekend again, man. There's a lot to go over, so we'll get on to it real quick. So as I always do, I'm going to give you my new top 10. Starting at number 10, I've got Oregon. Still got that signature win. Some questionable stuff on some of the calls there. You decide. Let me know in the comments if you think Oregon might have gotten something ripped off there by the refs. It could go either way, but let me know what you think down in the comments. Oregon comes in at number 10 with the upset loss to Stanford. First, making their first appearance in my top 10, we got the Sparties of Michigan State. They look really good. They're on a roll. I don't know who can beat them right now till they obviously play Michigan. Both undefeated. That looks like that's going to be a great matchup for those two teams. But right now, I got Michigan State rolling into the top 10 for the first time at number 9. At number 8 is their rival and the Wolverines of Michigan. I still don't know if this team's for real. They've had some really good games. Their opponents have been subpar for the most part. But we'll see what's going on with them. Obviously, they got Ohio State coming up, Michigan State. We'll see if they're for real here real soon. A lot of good teams in the Big Ten. A lot of teams that I thought that were not going to be good in the Big Ten are doing great. So I like seeing the parity with all these Big Ten teams. But that's the one I've got the most teams of in my top 10 this week, is the Big Ten kind of rules it. Coming in at number 7, BYU. They're on a roll, getting ready for that new conference that they're going to be in, the Big 12. So, Cincinnati as well. Could these newcomers to the Big 12 keep a hold in their top 10 for years to come? We'll see. Right now, they're doing excellent. BYU's on a roll. I don't see anybody stopping them. And between Cincinnati and BYU, both of those teams looking to vie for the playoff busters. Will both of them do it? Will any of them do it? We'll see. Coming in at number 6, Penn State. I still think that win against Auburn kind of drops them a little bit. I don't know if that's a real signature win. I've got Penn State dropping a little bit. I know everybody else is high on them. But this coming weekend, we're going to find out if Penn State and Iowa are for real. Who's the real team? Who is going to take control of the Big Ten? Coming up this week. More on that game here in just a minute as we get into our picks here and everything. Coming in at number 5, Oklahoma. They looked better. Are they back to top 4, top 3, top 2? I don't know. They looked better against Kansas State. Gave up a late touchdown that kind of affected the score a little bit. But overall, that offense looked good. We'll talk more about that. Oklahoma on the Red River football show this Thursday. So make sure you tune into that one. Up at number 4, I got my first. This team, there's a lot of talk about this team, whether they'll make it or not. I kind of foresee them making the playoffs. They look good, and that quarterback, Desmond Ridder, he's awesome. He's my number 1 Heisman. We'll get into that here in just a second as well. But Cincinnati comes in at number 4 with a great win over Notre Dame. What a great signature win. I think that's enough. If they can beat UCF coming up or later down in the season, I think that seals their ticket. But we'll find out. That's number 4, Cincinnati Bearcats looking good. Number 3, I got Iowa. We'll find out. Again, like I just said a few minutes ago, are they for real? I got them coming in at number 3. They look pretty good on their Friday night game. We'll see how it goes this weekend against Penn State. I really like Iowa, and I've said it from the beginning. If you go back and watch all my videos, I've said it from the beginning. Iowa is my dark horse. I've just thought they've had a great team all season long. I still think they win the Big Ten, and I think they make the playoffs. So they're an excellent team. So be checking for them. Number 2, slight change. I got Alabama coming in at number 2. Yes, they had a great win over Ole Miss. But I think Georgia's win over Arkansas was a lot better. Arkansas had 2 great signature wins, 2 defining signature wins over top-ranked Texas and Texas A&M. That's why I give the edge to Georgia right now. The win over Ole Miss for Alabama, it was good, but it wasn't great. That win, Georgia shutting out back-to-back weeks. The last time Georgia shut out two teams back-to-back like that, 1980, their national championship season. Lightning striking, we'll find out. But I've got Georgia number 1 in this week's top 10 poll. So let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is my top 10 wrong? Do you have somebody that would fit in there? Please let me know in the comments what you think about my top 10 if you agree or disagree. All right, that's our top 10. We're going into my Heisman picks. Every other week I try to give Heisman updates. This week I've got the number 1. Bryce Young is great at Alabama, but number 1 is Desmond Ridder. This guy has done everything what he's supposed to do for the Heisman. He's taking his team. He is the MVP of his team. Bryce Young is only there because he's Alabama. He's done good, don't get me wrong. But if Alabama was 15th ranked, 14th ranked, would Bryce Young be there? I don't know. Desmond Ridder deserves my number 1. He's my odds-on favorite to win right now. I know what Vegas says, but Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati, I think he's got... If he wins out, there is no way he should not win the Heisman. There is no way Desmond Ridder should not win the Heisman if Cincinnati doesn't win out. Or if Cincinnati wins out, I should say. Coming in number 2, like I said, I got Bryce Young. Alabama looks good, but I think he's only the odds-on favorite right now because he's Alabama. We all know Alabama was going to roll this season. We know it. So I got him at number 2. At number 3, argue with me if you want, he's still winning. He's still winning games. Yeah, he has a couple of interceptions, but he's still winning games. No matter what you want to think about him, no matter how you dislike or like him, I got Spencer Rattler, number 3, still in the hunt for the Heisman. If he can defeat Texas and go on and win the Big 12 championship, again, should he not be there at the end of the season, sitting next to Desmond Ridder at the finalists when they decide who wins the Heisman? You let me know. Is my Heisman picks wrong? Are they right? Do you have somebody different in there? Let me know. So that's my Heismans for this week. All right. A question I keep asking, I still want an answer to. With all of these upsets the last few weekends, is do you find that there's more parity in the college ranks this year? Do you find more teams, or did we just blatantly overlook because we want our favorite teams to win? We always know that Alabama. We always know that. We always know Alabama's going to be up there. But we voted Clemson. We just went off Clemson because of past. But look what the Clemson's done. Yeah, they barely beat a good Boston College team. A Boston College team that was in the running for first in the division along with Wake Forest. So, I don't know. Are we overhyping these teams because of we think they're the best? You let me know. What do you think? Is there more parity? Are we just overranking these teams because, well, that's my team, that's who I like? Or are we doing this because we don't watch what's going out on the West Coast half the time because the media doesn't like to stay up until late at night to watch those games? Tell me what you think. Me personally, I think there's a lot more parity. Again, I've talked about this on my Red River show. I've talked this about with other people. I think the transfer portal has a lot to do with it, bringing good players to other teams that normally wouldn't have, chosen, but now that they're not getting to play at, say, Alabama or Oklahoma or Texas or something, they're going into the portal and they're going to those teams and making them better. Tanner Mordecai at SMU, for example. SMU looks good. So they're in the top 25. Can't discredit that. So tell me what you think. Do you think that there's parity? Do you think it has something to do with COVID? Please let me know in the comments. I just said it. I think Georgia is probably the best team in the nation right now. I think at this point in juncture, if Alabama and Georgia would have played, Georgia is the better team. Georgia is the better team, and Georgia would probably win the SEC. But if one of those teams has one loss, obviously coming in the SEC championship, if whoever loses, are they still in? Let me know what you think. I do. I honestly think Alabama and Georgia will both be in the finals this year, or the playoffs. And we'll see down the road where that goes. I think they both make the playoffs, but I think Georgia's the better team. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree. And finally, my current playoff, as it stands right now, from my top 10, I have Georgia versus Cincinnati, and I have Alabama versus Iowa in the semifinals, and then I've got Georgia versus Alabama in the championship game. Of course, we know it's going to be another SEC, all SEC final, but that's what I think at this point in juncture. A lot could change. Heck, everybody's losing games every week. Some are barely managing to survive week to week to week and staying undefeated. Some are losing that undefeated. But let me know what you think. Let me know what your top 4 is and who you think will be in the playoffs at the end of the year. All right, what we've all been waiting for. There are some great games coming up this week again. Do we see more upsets? Is that trend going to continue into week 6? I think it does. I think, like I just talked about, I think there's a lot of parity and anybody can upset anybody. And I've got a few upsets picked out in this week's picks of the week. So, without further ado, the winner of last week, or week 5, again, Steve Jones, great job with a record of 7-3. And our overall season-long winner right now, Chris Price, he's out there with a 31-19 record. The closest one is a 1 game behind. We got to our last place is 8 games behind. Can make it up? We'll see. All right, for our first game of the week, we got Maryland at Ohio State. Maryland looks good. Tua Tagovailoa, or his brother. I messed it up. I'll always mess it up. Maryland goes into Ohio State. I think Ohio State wins it 38-17. Excuse me for butchering that. I wish I had made that better. Arkansas goes into Ole Miss. The matchup of last two, they're both undefeated going in their games against Georgia and Alabama. Now they got 1 loss. Somebody's coming out with a second, and I think that's going to be Ole Miss. I got Arkansas 24, Mississippi 23. We'll see how that goes. What do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in your comments. Coming up, Boise versus BYU. Again, I think no one stops BYU. They're just looking really good this season. They go against Boise this weekend. BYU 35, Boise 21. Up next, again, another team I'm really kind of high on, SMU. They put it to TCU, and they just look good. I think SMU's got a team that can stay in the top 25 for the next few years. So I got them, SMU going into Navy. SMU 31, Navy 17. Up next, Georgia versus Auburn. Auburn comes away with, a miracle win against LSU. LSU had that game, and then they just let them back in. Auburn, I still think they're that good. They have a win against LSU, great, but Georgia is going to destroy Auburn, 41-10. Auburn just doesn't have enough to stop Georgia, and like I said, Georgia's the number 1 team in my opinion right now. Georgia 41, Auburn 10. Battle of the unbeatens, battle of who is for real, battle of the Big Ten, Penn State versus Iowa. Man, tough. I thought, but I think Iowa takes this one by 10 points. Iowa 27, Penn State 17. That's what I think. I think it's going to be a really close game. 10 points separates them. Iowa 27, Penn State 17. To me, Penn State just has it. Wisconsin's not the team we thought they were. Auburn's not the team they thought they were. I just don't see them as a signature team. I think Iowa looks better, so I give it to Iowa. The Red River rivalry, Red River shootout, whatever we're calling it this year. OU versus Texas. Yes, Texas has had some pretty good breakout games the last couple weekends. Destroyed Texas Tech. Looked not so invincible against TCU. OU 19, Texas 14. I think it's a low-scoring game again. I think OU wins it on a last-second touchdown. They'll be down 14-13. They win it with a last-second touchdown, 19-14 OU. Michigan, Nebraska. My first upset pick of the week. I got Nebraska 23, Michigan 21. I don't know. I like Michigan. I just don't know if I think it's, Michigan or Nebraska played Michigan State really good. And I think Michigan State's better than Michigan, to be honest with you. So I think Nebraska, they're at home in Lincoln. I think Nebraska takes it to Michigan 23-21, 2-point game. Every time I picked a 2-point game this season, I've called it just not the right score, but it's always been 2 points. Up next, we got Wake Forest at Syracuse. I got Wake Forest 28, Syracuse 7. Wake Forest is probably going to be the ACC winner. I don't know. I don't know who's going to step up in that in that conference and take it to Wake Forest right now. Maybe Clemson. I don't know. I doubt it. But Wake Forest 28, Clemson 7. And our last game, LSU LSU at Kentucky. Man, another one I thought about. I back and forth. I know Kentucky took it to Florida. Was that a fluke? Did Florida just not play good football? I was really high on that Florida team. Still am. But I think Kentucky wins 21-17 over LSU. LSU woes are just going to keep going the rest. Big O, Coach O is. I think his time on the coaching seat in there in LSU is about over. Let me know what you think. So that's our picks for the week. If you want to get in, please let me know. And you can guest join. We have our season long. But if you'd like to be a guest picker for this, let me know in the comments. Say, hey, I want to be a guest picker and pick away. We'll figure out something for you. The last couple of guest pickers won gift cards to not only Amazon but Target. So maybe we'll come up with something. I'll let you know if you guest pick. But thank you for coming out and watching at Dasher Sports College. I like doing this each and every week. It's fun. We still got a few more weeks to go. The overall winner of the season-long contest is going to get that $200. $100. Well, at least $100, and if they win the bowl season, they get another $100. So, chance to win $200 total. So, appreciate you guys playing You Pick 'em. We'll see you next week, and thank you for coming out. Thanks for watching the Dash of Sports. I'm Dash, and I'll see you later.